podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Welcome, no question about that. This is the Tactics Show. We're going to do a preview of the Europa League final. Ange Ball versus Ruben Ball. Is it Ruben Ball or Ammo Ball? Which one should it be?
I fucking hate the stuff it's Ball, to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
like, why?
It's out there in the narrative.
Yeah, it's like it's there with like Starboy. Like, come on.
I don't like the Starboy one. It's very. They also got it from it's named after I think it's a Weekend album, Starboy. So I don't really understand.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm going to show my lack of pop culture knowledge these days. Any of our Starboys going to score in this one? Have we even got any Starboys? I don't know. You can't really count Ahmad as a Starboy. Where's the limit? When you hit 20, you're no longer a boy?
I think
I actually had to pick the Young Players of the Year for work yesterday.
Yeah, but you can be about 57 and be a young player.
So I looked at the official list. The fucking Ryan Gravenberch is on it. He's about 17. and
That's so right.
Cole Palmer. And it was very odd. So, yeah, we said... So we said 21 and below. Which, yeah. I mean, I felt like Morgan Rogers deserved to be involved in these 22.
Yes, absolutely.
But we decided 21. So Morgan Rogers is not one of my.
All right. Well, we'll have Ahmad is 22 and Garnacho is 20. Definitely starting. Kobbie Mainoo 19. Probably won't.
I don't.
Harry Ahmad will be on the bench.
I don't think Garnacho is going to start this game.
He just started he started basically every single game under Amorim. I guess the question is, Ahmad is back now and fit. So is it Bruno and Ahmad supporting Højlund, or is Bruno in the centre of the park? Well, let's get into it. What do we... I mean, we know Amorim's system. Ange Ball is in theory a 4-2-3-1, but in reality like a 1-1-8 or something like that. So we've got contrasting systems, usual sort of stuff there. But what do we think United are going to go for in the kind of tactical setup here? Because there's a lot of moving parts. So, like, who are the wing backs, who are the central midfielders, and who's supporting? Probably Højlund up front, although I'd rather have a paper bag up there.
Probably because there's no other option or choice. It's interesting. I did an analysis thread on the Tottenham game that we lost 1-0 away. It was genuinely really interesting to go back to that game, because do you remember the first half? Basically, what he was telling Bruno to do was to press the wide fullback. Every time they did that, they got through, and then he actually changed it in the second half and pushed everybody up in a high press, and that worked. They kept skirming the ball out, but obviously this team doesn't convert the fucking chances that they get, so they didn't score in the second half. So I'm thinking, is he going to go again for a high press because it worked? Right? And it does work against Tottenham. Ipswich did it. Bournemouth did it. Multiple teams have done it this season. If you press them high up the pitch in deep build-up, because they commit about 10 men up the pitch and only have 2 backs, if you can squirm the ball out or cause a turnover or get them to kick it out, it's quite risky, because I've seen Man United press this season under Amorim, and I've seen teams pick the gaps out. But it's I would rather attack rather than defend, especially Tottenham.
Well, quite, because one of Spurs' strengths is in those wide areas with Porro and Udogie and Son and whoever plays on the other side. That's the open question, isn't it? Like, who's going to take Kulusevski's role there? And
Johnson,
so,
yes.
Yeah, Brennan Johnson, who's actually their top scorer this season. So it is a strength of that. You should rather stop that attack before it gets there and doubles up on our wing back / wide centre backs.
You can't concede goals to someone whose name is Brennan, I'm afraid.
The tactical
I was just thinking, and then I was wondering, is he, like, David Johnson was at Ipswich, and then maybe he named after Ipswich legend Mark Brennan? I mean, you can say. Panini aficionados will well remember Mark Brennan. But I think Dharnish is sort of putting his finger on what the question here is that will United have the balls to press? Because if they do, we know that is where you can have joy against Tottenham, because they often try and pass out and they're not good at it particularly. But if you do press, then you're leaving space in behind and they've got pace up the pitch. Whereas if United sit off, you might say, well, actually, we've got Ahmad and Bruno are better creators than any they've got. So in a tight game, you might think that we should win because we do have the better attackers. So if we don't give them anything, which is why I would not play Ahmad at wing back, because for me, in this game, if you play Ahmad at wing back, if I'm Postecoglou, I'm going, right, they are weak there. We're going to get after them there. This guy's not a defender. And he'd be right. And who knows, maybe Ahmad could play there, he'd play well. It wouldn't work out like that. And it's sort of the way I feel about Trent Alexander-Arnold as well. You put that guy in the team, however good the passing and the crossing and the shooting are, that team has a weakness, and it's him. So in a final, I couldn't, even though I want United to go attacking, I couldn't put Ahmad there for that reason. It just gives you an obvious weak point for the opposition to get at. And then also Tottenham were quite pragmatic against Bodo Glimt, I think.
Yeah, they're quite direct.
Well, they started whacking it over the top, basically, which is what United did to win that game against Ajax.
Very much so, yeah.
And so it might be that both managers feel there's just too much to lose here and they're not going to make it easy. Like, because if Tottenham start passing out from the back or United play high, both those teams are kind of opening themselves out to conceding 2 goals in the first half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
No one's going to want to do that.
Yeah, I'd be really surprised if Tottenham roll out the same tactics as they did against Bodo. That felt like a special one for the occasion, the pitch and all of that kind of stuff. They would probably go back to the chaos ball that has been their Premier League stuff, I suspect. And United, I'd be really surprised if Amorim doesn't go with what on paper would look like a more defensive-minded system. So Dorgu, Ugarte, Casemiro and Mazraoui across the four in midfield effectively. Oh. And then Bruno, Ahmad and supporting Garnacho. Højlund. Feels like I'll let you do that for the same reason. That Tottenham's strengths are in their attacking areas, so probably counter that with slightly more defensive wing-backs than Ahmad there. What are your thoughts, Dharnish? You're looking sceptical.
I'm just weighing up in my mind whether Mason Mount has done enough to start the final. And
yeah, but how do you get Bruno, Mount and Ahmad all in the same side?
Mount, Casemiro, Bruno, Højlund, Ahmad. So
drop Ugarte.
Like Daniel said, Garnacho off the bench and then drop Ugarte. I only say this because against Chelsea, the toughest midfielder in the league, for the first 60, 70 minutes, because of how good Mount is out of possession, he's a really good presser. He's a really good tackler. He doesn't mind giving fouls. Like, he's clever enough to stop an attack with a foul, takes a yellow card. There's more bite in the midfield when it's Casemiro and Mount. There's a lot more football IQ in there. I know there's a lot of people, I think you said it to me before, where they were like, Mason Mount, what does he do? He's a good midfielder, and he just
managers love Mason Mount. All of them.
Yes, they do. They do love Mason Mount, but there's a reason for that. So
No, I agree. I think Mount's a good player. He wasn't the right player, but he's a good player.
So I'm just thinking, if you do that, then you probably have Bruno dropping a lot. So the only wide option that you have then is Ahmad on the wing backs, and the wing backs, whenever they seem to get to the byline, they are horrible at crossing it recently. Like, they're seriously
sure, yeah.
If it's Wander's not putting a cross in, it feels like they're not going to put a good ball in, and that's awful because the only way you score in this system is through crosses and cutbacks.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it is the weakest part of Dorgu's game, isn't it? For sure, the final delivery. But maybe he'll get there. What if Ugarte gets dropped? And it is an open question because he's been quite poor recently. Is there enough?
He is quite.
Is there enough
poor.
Is there enough ground coverage in there and interceptions, tackling and stuff? So the question is, do you leave Casemiro exposed again? Because the tweet that Amorim has made in recent months is to stop asking Casemiro to do the counter pressing, right? And because he just can't do two. You can't do two in one. You can't do the counter pressing and cover back if the press is broken. And which was one of the problems he had under Ten Hag. So do you get enough ground coverage, tackling, interceptions, blocks, all that kind of stuff with Bruno and Casemiro and central midfield and United open through there? Because Spurs likely play quite a defensive-looking midfield, right? Bissouma, Bentancur and one other.
It's not
Pepe Sarr, right? It's all quite physical, yeah.
Bergval's injured.
Bergval's injured, so's Maddison, so's Kulusevski.
I think I've made my mind up on the fact that I want Mount to start. I keep thinking of that first 50, 60 minutes when they were good against Chelsea. And then it collapsed when Casemiro went off and Mount came off. So I'm thinking maybe he's already made a decision to start. And did he come? Just to make sure, I think he came off against Chelsea. Did he not? Mount.
Yeah, he didn't play the full game.
Yes, so I would go for that. And then Garnacho.
It feels like he's been wanting to find a way of getting Mount into the team.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
And
right.
I mean, I think I would probably play Manu, not Mount, but I think Ugarte is too shit to play in that what he nominally gives you. So you might say, well, if you block up the middle of the pitch with Ugarte and with Ugarte and Casemiro, then you play Bruno and Ahmad, and they can just worry about attacking, and then you can leave a wing back high. But I just don't think we've got any wing backs is worth leaving high, really. So for me, I would say like the two wing backs are going to be defenders. Well, they are, because I wouldn't play Ahmad there. Then you're going to play Ahmad as one of the 10s. So then the question and Casemiro is going to be one of the 6s, and Bruno's getting in there. So that basically leaves you one spot. And it's Ugarte, or it's Mount, or it's Manu. And
yeah, those are all the options, yeah.
It doesn't feel like Amorim really likes Mount. Sorry, it doesn't feel like Amorim really likes Ugarte, and it doesn't feel like he really likes Manu either. So my sense is, aside from Dharnish, who would pick Mount himself, when I kind of express it to myself in those terms, whatever I think it should be, I think it is going to be Mount.
Yeah. Yeah, Manu's an interesting one because we've barely seen him in the pivot under Amorim. I mean, he's obviously been injured. He doesn't look quite fit. He's undercooked, as in he hasn't had a lot of minutes recently. So it would be a real shock if he started, even if it was as some kind of false nine, if Amorim had the balls to drop Højlund, which seems unlikely.
I'm absolutely certain he has the bollocks to drop Højlund. He just doesn't have anyone to bring in for Højlund.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely certain. I mean, he wants to drop him probably from quite a height, I'd say.
That'd not be good for PSR purposes, although many people may enjoy it. Yeah, so it seems unlikely that Manu will start this game, but if United are chasing and he needs to change out the midfield, especially if Ugarte starts. I mean, it is interesting with Ugarte, like the United fan base has certainly turned on him, and the online fan base, I should say, not the in-stadium fan base. And our impression of him being a sort of one-dimensional player when he joined has certainly played out. And that one dimension.
What is the dimension? What is it?
Tackles, blocks, interceptions, ground coverage, all of that. He's really high in the metrics for all of that, although he was extremely weak the other night.
But not really effective, And so then I think if we've decided then that the midfield four is Casemiro, Mount, Bruno and Ahmad, then the question after that is the defence is going to be Maguire. It looks like Euro's going to be fit, doesn't it?
Hopefully, because otherwise that plan changes. Because otherwise, look, there are two things that happen if Euro isn't fit. Either Shaw and Mazraoui are flanking Maguire, and I suspect it'd only be one of those, or Lindelof plays. And I don't know who I'd rather be out of the team more, Lindelof or Højlund, but I couldn't stand both of them in the team.
Lindelof.
So I think it will be, my guess is, because the thing is that he likes Euro on the left. And the improvement we've seen from Euro in terms of the passing and the dribbling has largely come on the left. So I'd kind of be loath to change that. So then, if you have the Euro on the left, that means you're not playing Shaw as a centre-back, right?
No. Yeah.
It means it's either Mazraoui as the right centre-back
or Lindelof.
So I would go for Mazraoui. And then if it is Mazraoui, then that gives you a choice between three more, basically. It's like Dalot, Dorgu, and Shaw.
Yeah, I'm not sure Dalot's fit enough. Shaw could play at left wing back with Dorgu on the right. Another option, yeah. Although Shaw hasn't had an awful lot of minutes, but for a one-off game. I mean, he has scored in the Euro final, of course, from that position.
Or the other thing you might do is then you could play Euro on the right and play Shaw on the left. And that, to me, is quite tempting because I want pace on both sides of the back three. But Euro's, it would depend probably on stuff that I don't feel qualified to comment on, really. The manager will know better. Is, do we think that you can get the same level of performance out of Euro on the right that we've been getting out of him on the left recently? As an attacking player.
He has looked more comfortable, and I don't know whether that is because he's more comfortable on off the left? Because it's not going to affect his passing range particularly, or just that he's grown as a player. But we've certainly seen that in recent weeks, right? His comfort with coming out, making that extra man in midfield, certainly helped create one of the goals against Bilbao, didn't he, to striding into the final third.
I think he was involved in two, actually.
Yeah, he has certainly grown into the role over the months of this season. But yeah, they are all open questions, I think, and the balance will be kind of interesting, especially since Spurs are, like, as I said, their goals come from those areas, right? Yeah. Heung-min-son not had the best season ever, but he's still got double figures for goals and assists. And then obviously Brendan Johnson is scoring quite well. And even Solanke's been scoring in recent weeks. So it's, the balance there is going to be interesting. How does the pattern of this game play out then, right? Because
it's a final.
We don't want chaos ball again, do we?
No.
So, is it United trying to control the pace and the possession here?
It's a final, so I don't know. I don't recall finals ever being that fun to watch. Right? They're always really edgy games. Even if I'm just talking about any final in general, they're quite edgy games.
Yeah, and there's a lot riding on this for both clubs
because none of them want to lose, right? I think Spurs are definitely going to press high up the pitch, and you have to make use of that. The only reason Man United have been good in the Europa League and not in the Premier League is because all of a sudden there are gaps that appear in the Europa League games that don't in the Premier League. It's very simple. That's all it is.
Well, hang on. I agree with that partly, and it's also a physical thing that.
But the two mold into each other. The two mold into.
But what Amorim was saying was that there is that, and he's been honest about acknowledging that. But what he also said was in the Europa game, they find a way to win because they know they have to. Whereas in the league, they know it doesn't matter. And mentally, they're not the kind of lads that are going to make sure they win anyway. Like, they don't have that hardness, that cruelty about them. Whereas this is a game that they do have to win. So, I mean, that doesn't mean I trust them to find a way of winning it, but they do. There are players in this team who have experience of winning cup finals, which Spurs don't. And so I do think like Spurs will be expecting United to turn up, I think.
Yeah. Who are the United players who've won things? Oh, well, I guess the Cup, the FA Cup last year. Yeah.
Casemiro's won every...
Casemiro's won a fair amount. Yeah. I mean, certainly Spursy, the Spursiness of the Spurs team will be interesting. It is true. Like, there are very few of those players that have won much or achieved much. Nor has Big Ange really, except in the. Did he win the league with Celtic?
He won the league with Celtic, and you won the league with Yokohama.
Well, the dynamic with the managers is interesting as well because, like, whatever happens, Amorim is almost certainly still in a job next season, and whatever happens, Big Ange is almost certainly out of a job next season. And so they're not that either lacks motivation, but it's big. It's really big for both.
It's all or nothing. Like Amorim said, it's all or nothing. There's people saying this is the biggest game since Ferguson left. I'm not sure about that. Maybe just because
it's context. I mean, it's just a Europa.
Just because of the circumstances, it's because of the awful season, this, that, the other.
It's because of the PSR. For me, the reason this is an important game is obviously any chance to win a trophy is important. But the reason why you could argue that it was the most important game since Ferguson, the only reason, and this isn't to me what football's about, but I can understand it, is that we're at a point where a proper rebuild is necessary. There's a manager with the will to do it, but there's also PSR with the will to stop it.
Yeah, exactly.
And if we can get in the Champions League, then that would mean a proper rebuild can be accomplished this summer. And we're talking like it's saving us probably 18 months. It's just a supercharge. Mm-hmm. Whereas for Tottenham, it's more about the trophy. And we know that it doesn't really matter how many Champions Leagues they qualify for. They're still going to be Tottenham. They're still going to be shit. They're still probably looking for a new manager this summer. And who knows what's going to happen after that. Whereas United, we don't know if we have a manager. We have a modern manager who plays with charisma, who understands how modern football works. He still might not be the right guy, but we don't know yet. Spurs basically do know that this is the right guy. And also, it's not like if they get in the Champions League, they're suddenly going to go and do damage in the transfer market because who the fuck wants to play for Tottenham anyway? Whereas, a good mate of mine is an Arsenal supporter, and he's like, well, he'd obviously like us to batter Spurs ideally, but in the back of his mind is exactly that. he knows that finishing the Champions League, getting into the Champions League next season will not change Tottenham, that they're not suddenly going to become a threat, whereas United are always one good manager away. And if this guy happens to be good and they've got the money, then that's a problem for other people. So for United, it is. I mean, even Amorim said that. Like he said, more or less, like a trophy won't change how shit we are. Whereas getting to the Champions League will mean we can get to a different level in terms of getting good again.
Yes, because I think it's clear now we understand Amorim enough, don't we? It's clear that he really needs the players that will fit his system and do the things he wants, plus just better players.
It's not systemic for me. When I look at this team, right, like people kept saying this at the time, I've written this in a piece that's coming out tomorrow, like that there's this idea that the system doesn't support United, doesn't suit the players. Right, well, one of the reasons this system is shit is because the goalkeeper's shit. That's nothing to do with the system. The centre-backs, right? They're all protected by playing in a 3, and they're all used to playing in a 3, so it's fine for them. Wing-back, okay. Wing-back in an Amorim team is a specialist role. You need very particular players for that. Bruno, thriving. Ahmad, thriving. The two best, most talented attackers. And the rest of them, it's not like they were fucking kicking us in a 4-3-3, is it?
No. Brett, it's just
the problem is quality and mentality much more than anything else.
So you're saying
if you go and get the right players, if you gave Amorim good players, you've got a manager with charisma. If you go and get him good players, then they can cover problems with the system and what the system fits and doesn't fit, I think.
Dharnish.
So I think that you're saying it's the players, right, not the system.
I'm saying it's mainly the players.
Yeah.
Obviously, like the system's relevant, but if you put much better players than United have got in the system, you see a much better fucking team.
Just while we're on the topic, they didn't play a default way under Ten Hag. They didn't. So you're already teaching people who didn't have a style of play a new style of play, right? They knew how. They did 3 different styles of play. Neither of them were good, and now they're learning how to do a new one. It's not. And the other thing as well is about the centre backs. All 3 of them. Sorry, the left one and the right one. They need to. When they finally learn that they need to drive 30 or 40 yards forward, one of them gets injured. Like Euro's good at it. Martinez is good at it. It ticks me off when neither the left or the right one doesn't drive forward with the ball for 40 or 20. Because that's how you pick holes in the system. It must be. Because at this point, we've seen it enough to know how teams defend against it. And it works every single time. Every single time Man United have come up against an opposition, apart from in the Europa League, they've sussed them out. They've done their homework. It's very simple. They press the 3 centre-backs. They press the 2 midfielders in the middle, and then that's about it. Huck it up to Højlund. He does nothing with it. The ball gets squirmed out again. It's because he said, you're going to see an idea and I'm not going to change. And it hasn't changed. So each game I'm thinking all of this is on purpose now. I don't think it's on purpose that they're shit.
But what he said was that at the beginning it'd be quite simple. And then as they get more experienced in playing the system, they'd flick between different iterations as the match requires. And we're not seeing that.
Yeah, but they're not doing that.
The point isn't for it to be, well, it's just the same thing every time. It's that they're not good enough to do. Like, it's a demanding system, right? We don't have the midfield players particularly to make it work, or we don't have the wing backs to make it work. But it's not. I don't massively blame the system for that. I look at the players and think, how many of these guys do I think are good? And the answer is not many. And it wouldn't, and the players that I want to get rid of, right? I want to get rid of them, whatever the formation we played, because I don't think they're good enough. It's not about whether they fit the system or not. Obviously, like, I want to sign a wing back who fits the system. But otherwise, it's much more about quality. And it's not, and I agree with what you say about the wide centre backs. They are often the spare man. And we've seen, like, as soon as Martinez sort of got confident in their own, started to do it, as you said, he got injured. Then Heaven can do it as well, and he gets injured.
Yeah.
And then Euro starts doing it, and he gets injured. Yeah. But I agree that because it's not so much the midfield players doing a lot of shuttling as much as progression, it's those wide centre backs who need to be good on the ball, and we do have them. Like, we don't really need to sign a centre-back this summer. It's just they're not fit. And
yeah, it's those four specialist positions: the wide centre-backs, the wing-backs, and then I guess the dual 10s. Although it's not clear to me that those roles have radically changed. I mean, they're less wide than under Ten Hag. I mean, Marcus Rashford was hugging the touchline all the time, wasn't he? Although Garnacho is one for that as well. And Spurs, will Spurs coming up with anything different because of their injury plans and so on? I mean, I'm guessing it's pretty prosaic midfield, isn't it? You know, you're not going to get a lot out of that central midfield because of who they've got. And so they'll be looking to, if they can progress the ball through midfield, that's one thing. I mean, I don't think any of those three are particularly good passers. And then the danger is up front, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I think that there'll be like the one that Pedro Porro is quite good going forward, and I think that he'll be looking at the space in behind whoever plays left wing back, which I guess is one reason to have Euro on that side. Yeah, it's difficult with Ange because he's so belligerent currently that you don't know if the belligerence he feels will be reflected in his team selection, or if it just, what does he think he needs to do to get the win? And what he might need to do to get the win is defend a bit deeper and try and and then you've got the pace of Son and Johnson on the counter. And he might try and do that. I'm not sure that Tottenham, they might press high, but I think once the ball's in play and the chance to press high is gone, I wouldn't be surprised to see them trying to reduce the space in behind and try and make United create space in behind.
There seems a conflict between what they're going to have in midfield and then the rest of their players, right? They're so super attacking in wide areas and probably a bit defensive. I mean, you could almost pick the 11 right now, right?
What?
For Spurs. It's going to be Vicario, Porro, Van de Ven, Romero, Udogie, Bentancur, Sarr, whoever the other chap is, Bissouma, Son, Solanke, and Brendan Johnson. I'd be really surprised if it's not that 11.
So how can you lose a final to those cunts? I mean, seriously, just hearing you like enumerate that team. I mean,
there's a reason why they're 17.
Manchester United.
Let's not go there yet.
No, if you do. The fact it's even a consideration is embarrassing.
I actually look at that team and it kind of scares me, I can't lie. I know they've been shit this season, but there's a lot of them are good players.
I know, it's all theoretical.
Hang on. Solanke. What's Solanke good at?
Being a being a striker.
He scored like 10 goals this season.
That's not.
It's more than any of our forwards.
Yeah, but it's not many. It's not more than. Is it more than Bruno?
I think he's got more than Bruno.
Yeah, there's more league goals than Bruno.
Solanke's had one good season, and he's what, 28, 27?
He's got 15 goals in 43 games across all competitions this season. So it's not horrendous for a £65 million player. I'm not 2 million.
There's never going to be. I'm never going to look at a team United and playing and be like, "Oh, what must Solanke do?"
I'm pretty sure
he might score. Don't get me wrong. Like, worst players than Solanke have fucked us up before.
He scored against us this season and last season.
But he's not good. He's not a good player. He's not like, oh no.
All right, let's have some fun.
Okay, but compare him to Højlund. Like, come on.
No. Also shit. But I say Højlund's ceiling is miles higher than Solanke's.
I haven't seen it yet.
That was the theory. All right, so was it Gary Neville or Roy Keane? It was Roy Keane. Roy Keane said the only United player that get into the Spurs side was Bruno, right? Which is obviously nonsense. It's obviously nonsense. But go on, let's pick an 11. Goalkeepers, Vicario or Onana?
Vicario.
Quick vote.
Vicario.
Okay, for sure, yeah. The centre-backs.
Are we only choosing from fit players here? Is it the teams that you think are going to play tomorrow?
Any possible players, and we're going to go in a 4-2-3-1 because it's your standard system, right? So your centre backs: Romero, Van de Ven, Maguire, De Ligt, Euro.
I am going Euro.
Lindelof, and whoever the other guy is that Spurs sometimes play.
I'm going Euro and Martinez.
Licha, if we're doing injured players, Licha.
Yeah, Euro and Martinez.
I'd probably go
Euro Martinez.
Romero,
I like. I like it. The fact that he's a nutter.
He's too tight.
He's wild.
He is wild. Yeah.
He should be a good player, but he isn't. I'll say him.
I mean, he isn't because he does mad stuff. Van de Ven's obviously got great pace. I don't know whether he's a great defender or not. So Euro is the best of the lot.
I think
technically.
So. I think so.
And then Leach is the best defender. There you go. We sorted that one out. Left back.
Obvious. Both Tottenham fullbacks.
Doggy, Shaw.
Both Tottenham fullbacks.
Doggy.
Yeah, I can't.
Shaw, Doggy.
I can't argue with not like.
Yeah,
Doggy has to be in there.
Doggy's good player. Is he a better player than Shaw? I mean, Shaw's never fit.
Shaw's not fit.
Not when Shaw's at his best, but we haven't seen that in so long.
Seen that,
can't rely on it.
Sorry, Luke. Get to the gym.
Right back, Porro, Mazraoui, Dalot.
Porro.
Wow. All right.
Pretty good.
Central midfielders. Casemiro, Ugarte, Bentancur, Bissouma, Pape Sarr, Ericsson.
If I'm having a 4-3-3, I'm having Mainu. I'm having Mainu and Bruno and one more.
If it's a 4-3-3, you definitely pick Mainu.
What is this? Is this Mainu on current form? Because then I wouldn't pick him.
No. Just like let's pretend they're all fit.
No, but we're being biased. Okay, Mainu.
Of course.
It's
a Manchester United podcast.
That's true. That's true. Okay, Mainu.
Who the fucking BBC?
I mean, you could have I'm going Mainu, Bruno, and then.
But you only get two. You get 4-2-3-1. Remember.
Well, Bruno's the number 10.
I've gone for a 4-3-3, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Dan's going for a 4-3-3.
Is this
yes, it kind of has to be a 4-3-3 with Mainu in there because that clearly suits his style. But Bruno's the attacking one. You have to have it in.
Yeah.
And then who are your three forwards? I mean, we haven't got any, have we?
No.
Ahmad
Diallo.
So after slagging him off, Solanke's up front.
Suck it, Daniel.
Oh my goodness. It's so shit.
On the spot this week, Daniel will suck it. Yeah. So Solanke up front and Heung-min Son
probably
still, even though he's older.
No, I'm not having him. I'm having Kulusevski.
You're not having Heung-min Son
on one side.
You have lost it.
And Ahmad on the other.
When was Son last good?
Yeah, it's about 18 months ago.
Maybe. I don't know.
He had a poor season last season as well. I mean, he's still a good player.
But it's still Sonny.
And he fucking missed that one-on-one. He missed that. He missed that one-on-one, and he is an excellent finisher. And yet he missed that one-on-one to deny City the title. Fuck him.
Imagine Garnacho could finish like Son. He'd have 75 goals this season. Literally, because he shoots 8 times a game. Yeah. All right. Well, it's not particularly good combined 11, whatever way you look at it.
No. Okay, come on then. Scores before we go. Scores.
No, I'm too nervous.
I already said on the preview pod with Dominic that United going to win 2-1 in extra time. Harry Maguire with the diving header.
Max. Penalty. I think it'll go to penalties. I think
what happened to the diving header while we're talking about it? Why has that gone out of the game? It used to be a thing.
I had a thread on Twitter till I got hacked, and the person who hacked me then somehow managed to delete every single tweet I'd ever done.
Bro, that was me.
I had a thread of
that was me.
I got you.
You were the catfishers. I had a thread of headers. I love a diving header.
It's a classic of the genre. I mean, like when they've totally gone out of fashion. Not since Phil Jones tried to do one off the floor. Javier Hernandez with the back of his head.
I don't think it is. I think United are going to win 3-1.
All right. I'm saying 2-1. Dan saying 3-1. Easy victory. Dharnish, are you going to let the side down or not?
I don't. I'm too anxious and nervous for this. I just put mine down as an NA. N/A.
Real nominations.
Not being very
Dharnish has quit that one. All right. Let's leave it there. Come on, Reds.
Even Bilbao.
All right, enjoy Bilbao, you guys, and
we'll
see you afterwards. We'll do debrief at the weekend or something.
Yes.
Bye now.